What it was like to be a Jedi youngling during Order 66 is a story of light extinguished room by room. I was 6 years old when the corridors of the only home I ever knew filled with the echo of blaster fire and the heavy footsteps of those we once called friends. The air in the temple grew thick with smoke and betrayal as we followed our training droid through maintenance tunnels never meant for frightened children. The Force itself seemed to tremble that night, each death sending cold ripples through our young minds. We did not understand what we felt then, that coldness spreading through the temple, swallowing warmth, swallowing life. How could we have known that the clone trooper who once carried me on his shoulders during Republic Day would return with orders to hunt us through our own home? The Masters always taught us that fear was the path to darkness. But what happens when the darkness finds you anyway, and you are too young to fight it? I was 6 years old when the lights went out. Not all at once, but in waves, corridor by corridor, training room by training room. We were practicing Form I with training sabers when the first tremors rippled through the Force. Master Kier faltered mid-sentence, his hand instinctively reaching for his lightsaber. The 20 of us younglings sensed it too, though none of us understood what we felt. A cold void spreading through the temple, swallowing warmth, swallowing life. "Children," Master Kier said softly, his voice changed. Gone was the gentle instruction, replaced by something urgent, something afraid. "Follow me," quickly and quietly. We did as we were told. Jedi younglings are trained in obedience from the earliest age. The temple had routines for everything: fire drills, lockdown procedures, evacuation protocols. But there was no protocol for what was happening, no training exercise for betrayal. The corridors that had always seemed so vast and bright now closed in, shadowed and strange. The temple was built like a fortress, but that night it became a trap. Master Kier led us toward the residential wing, his lightsaber now drawn but not ignited. We heard it first, blaster fire, not distant, but inside the temple walls, then screams, then silence. "Master?" Sora, a Twi'lek girl, tugged at his robe. "Are the Separatists here?" Master Kier did not answer. His face had gone gray. Another wave passed through the Force, stronger this time. Several children whimpered. I felt it like ice water in my veins. So much death. At the junction that led to the council tower, Master Kier stopped abruptly. The sound of armored boots echoed from the passage ahead, marching in formation. Not droids. Clone troopers. "Back," he whispered, herding us into an alcove. Not a sound. The training room we slipped into was dark, the practice remotes dormant in their storage racks. Through the partially open door, we watched white armored figures pass. CT-4387. I recognized his armor pattern. He had stood guard during our lessons many times, sometimes showing us how to hold a blaster properly when Master Kier wasn't looking. But something was wrong. Their movements were different, mechanical, purposeful in a way that made my skin crawl. "Kill all Jedi," one of them said, voice flat through his helmet filter. "No exceptions." Sora started to cry. Master Kier placed his hand gently over her mouth. "The young ones too," another confirmed. "Those are the orders." I felt Master Kier's shock like a physical blow through the Force. The clone troopers, our protectors, our friends, now hunting us through our home, a betrayal so complete that even a Jedi Master could not have foreseen it. "Listen carefully," Master Kier whispered once the patrol had passed. "Something terrible has happened. The clones have turned against the Jedi. We cannot reach the main hangar. We must find another way out." "But why would they hurt us?" I asked. The concept was incomprehensible. The clone troopers had always been kind to us. CT-4387 had once carried me on his shoulders during Republic Day celebrations. "I do not know, Kalen," Master Kier's voice cracked, "but we must focus on survival now. Follow me and stay silent." He led us deeper into the temple, away from the main corridors where clone patrols would be heaviest. The service passageways were narrow, designed for maintenance droids. We crawled on hands and knees through ventilation shafts, listening to the sounds of execution echoing through the metal walls. The temple was vast, a city unto itself with countless chambers and halls. Yet nowhere was safe. Every turn brought a new horror. The bodies of Jedi knights lying where they fell, defending younglings like us. The scorch marks of blaster fire on ancient walls. The smell of burning cloth and flesh. In the archives, we found Master Nu barricading the entrance with overturned tables. "Jocasta," Master Kier called out. She turned, lightsaber raised, eyes wild. "Kier," she breathed. "The clones, they are killing everyone. Master Dralig is defending the south entrance, but they keep coming." "What about the council, Master Windu?" "Gone to confront the Chancellor. Something about the Sith Lord." She noticed us then, 20 pairs of frightened eyes. "The younglings. You must get them out through the lower levels. The maintenance tunnels connect to the Undercity." "And you?" Master Nu looked back at the great repository of Jedi knowledge, thousands of years of wisdom contained in holocrons and datapads. "I will save what I can, then destroy the rest. It cannot fall into the wrong hands." A series of explosions shook the temple foundations. The clone troopers were not just killing, they were demolishing, erasing. "Take TR-33, Master Nu said, gesturing to a silver protocol droid standing motionless in the corner. "It knows the maintenance routes." "May the Force be with you, Jocasta," Master Kier said. "And with you, old friend. Now go." That was the last time we saw Master Nu. We learned later that she died defending the archives, taking 6 clone troopers with her. TR-33 led us through passages I never knew existed. The underbelly of the temple was a maze of power conduits and waste disposal systems. We moved in darkness, guided only by the droid's photoreceptors and Master Kier's instinct. "Where are we going?" asked Malik, a human boy no older than me. "Away," Master Kier said simply. "Somewhere safe." But safety no longer existed, not in the temple, not on Coruscant, not anywhere in the Republic. We just did not know it yet. The maintenance tunnel ended at a hatch leading to the temple's southern foundation. Beyond lay the depths of Coruscant's underlevels, a labyrinth of abandoned structures and criminal enterprises where even Jedi seldom ventured. It was our only hope. Master Kier was entering the access code when we heard them, clone troopers, approaching from behind. The sound of their regulation boots against metal grating. The distinctive click of blaster safeties disengaging. "Open the hatch," Master Kier ordered TR-33, igniting his lightsaber. The green blade illuminated the cramped space, casting shadows across terrified young faces. "Get them out, I will hold them off." "But Master," I protested. "No time, Kalen. Go with TR-33, keep the others safe, remember your training." The hatch swung open with a hiss of hydraulics. Stale air from the Undercity rushed in, carrying the smells of rust and decay. TR-33 ushered us through one by one. I was the last to go. I looked back at Master Kier, his lightsaber held high, his face set in grim determination. "May the Force be with you, Master," I whispered. "It will always be with you, Kalen," he replied. "Now run." The hatch sealed behind me. Through the thick metal, I heard the muffled sounds of blaster fire. Then a scream cut short, then nothing. We were on our own now, 20 younglings and a protocol droid, standing on a narrow maintenance platform overlooking the endless vertical sprawl of Coruscant's underlevels. Behind us lay the only home we had ever known, now transformed into a slaughterhouse. Ahead lay uncertainty, a galaxy suddenly hostile to our very existence. TR-33's photoreceptors flickered. "This way, younglings. Master Kier instructed me to take you to docking bay L-42. It is 3 levels down. There may be a transport we can appropriate." We followed in numb silence. The enormity of what was happening could not be processed by our young minds. The Force, which had always been our comfort, now thrummed with pain and loss. Each death in the temple sent ripples through the cosmic energy field, and we felt everyone. The underlevels of Coruscant were never intended for human habitation. Walkways meant for maintenance droids creaked under our weight. Vermin scattered at our approach. The artificial lighting was sporadic, leaving pools of darkness where anything might hide. "Stay close," TR-33 instructed. "This region is frequently patrolled by security droids programmed to eliminate unauthorized organic presence." In any other circumstance, such a warning would have frightened us. Now it seemed trivial compared to what we had witnessed. The temple was burning above us. We could see the orange glow reflecting off distant buildings, smoke billowing into the artificially regulated atmosphere. Sora moved closer to me, her small hand finding mine. "Kaelin," she whispered, "are all the masters dead?" I did not know how to answer. I was only 6, but in that moment I felt ancient. I do not know, maybe some escaped. What about Master Yoda? The name brought a flicker of hope. Surely Master Yoda could not be killed. He was the wisest, the strongest. If anyone could survive, it would be him. "Master Yoda is not on Coruscant," TR-33 informed us, its mechanical voice devoid of the comfort we needed. "He was deployed to Kashyyyk to assist the Wookiees against separatist forces." Hope dimmed again. We were truly alone. Docking Bay L-42 was an abandoned service port, once used to deliver supplies to the temple's lower levels. Now it stood derelict, blast doors corroded, landing lights dark. TR-33 accessed the control panel, ancient circuits responding sluggishly to its commands. "The security system appears functional," the droid reported. "However, I detect no vessels currently docked." "Then we are trapped," Malik said, voicing what we all feared. "Not necessarily. This facility connects to the Undercity transport network. If we can access a public shuttle, we may be able to reach the mid-level districts where sympathetic senators might provide sanctuary." Sympathetic senators? The phrase rang hollow. The Senate had always supported the Jedi, or so we were taught. But if the clone troopers had turned against us, who else might have betrayed us? Who could we trust? The blast doors groaned open, revealing the empty docking bay beyond. It was smaller than I expected, designed for service vehicles rather than passenger transports. A layer of dust covered everything, undisturbed for years until our arrival. "Remain here," TR-33 instructed. "I will check the adjacent maintenance office for functional communications equipment." The droid moved away, leaving us huddled together in the center of the bay. 20 children, the oldest no more than 8, the youngest barely 5. We were trained to face our fears, to find calm in the Force, but theory failed in the face of reality. What was that? Sora suddenly tensed, her leku twitching. We all heard it. Footsteps, echoing through the connecting corridor. Not the precise march of clone troopers, but something heavier, uneven. Wounded, perhaps, or cautious. "Hide," I hissed, pushing the younger ones toward a stack of empty cargo containers. We scrambled behind them, training sabers clutched in trembling hands. Useless against blasters, but they were all we had. The footsteps grew closer. A figure appeared in the doorway, silhouetted against the dim emergency lighting. A Jedi Knight, robes tattered, lightsaber still gripped in one hand. Hope surged through our group. "Master?" Malik called out, starting to rise. The Jedi stepped into the bay, and my blood froze. It was Master Grayson, a combat instructor who had sometimes taught the older Padawans. But something was wrong. His movements were jerky, uncoordinated. His face, usually stern but kind, was contorted in a grimace of pain. And his eyes were wrong. Yellow where they should have been brown, rimmed with red, filled with something I had never seen before. Hatred. "Children," he said, his voice rasping. "Come out. It is not safe here." No one moved. The Force screamed warnings. This was not the Master Grayson we knew. "I said come out," he snarled, the facade of calm cracking. His lightsaber ignited, casting sickly blue light across his corrupted features. TR-33 returned from the maintenance office. Master Grayson, how fortunate. The younglings require evacuation from the temple due to the clone trooper insurrection. Master Grayson turned to the droid, his expression shifting to one of calculated malice. Yes, the younglings. Lord Vader has special plans for them. A name I did not recognize, not a Jedi Master, something new, something terrible. Master Grayson began moving toward our hiding place, lightsaber held low. "No one escapes," he muttered, almost to himself. "Those are the orders. No one escapes the purge. The Jedi must end." Something inside me knew. This was no rescue. Master Grayson had fallen to something dark, something that now controlled him just as surely as the clone troopers were controlled. We were still being hunted. I felt the weight of responsibility crash down upon me. Master Keir had told me to keep the others safe. I was the oldest now. I had to do something. The Force moved through me, clearer than it ever had in training. I stood. "Run," I told the others. "Now." They did not question. As one, we broke from cover, scattering in all directions as Master Grayson lunged forward. His lightsaber cut through the cargo containers like paper, missing Sora by centimeters. "Insolent brats," he howled, all pretense of control gone. There is no escape. TR-33 moved with surprising speed for a protocol droid, placing itself between Master Grayson and the fleeing younglings. "Master Grayson, your behavior violates primary Jedi protocols regarding the protection of initiates. Please deactivate your weapon and submit to diagnostic evaluation." The lightsaber cleaved through TR-33's torso, leaving the droid in sparking halves on the docking bay floor. But the distraction served its purpose. Most of the younglings had reached the far exit, leading deeper into the Undercity. I stood frozen, watching the fallen Jedi stalk toward me. This was a nightmare beyond comprehension. Clone troopers were one thing. They were soldiers following orders, however terrible. But a Jedi turning on younglings, it violated everything we believed. "The Jedi are traitors," Master Grayson said, advancing slowly. "The Chancellor has seen the truth. You have all been corrupted. Even the children. You are the one who has been corrupted," I replied, surprising myself with the steadiness of my voice. "This is not the Jedi way." He laughed, a sound that held no humor. "The Jedi way is finished. There is only power now. Power Lord Vader has promised to those who serve." I backed toward the exit, knowing I could not outrun him, but determined to give the others time. Sora remained beside me, refusing to leave. Loyal to the end. "The Force will never serve darkness," she said, her small voice defiant. "Brave words from dead children," Master Grayson snarled, raising his lightsaber for the killing blow. The attack came from behind him. A blur of motion, a flash of green light. Master Grayson's expression changed from rage to shock as a lightsaber blade emerged from his chest. He crumpled to the floor, revealing the figure standing behind him. Master Sindralig, the temple's battlemaster, his face streaked with blood and soot, but his eyes clear and determined. "Younglings," he said urgently, "we have precious little time. Come with me." Relief flooded through me, so intense I nearly collapsed. Master Dralig was a legend among the initiates, his skill with a lightsaber unmatched. If anyone could protect us, it was him. The others, I pointed toward the far corridor. They ran that way. We will find them. But first, we must move. More will come. The temple has fallen. The Republic has fallen. Everything has changed in a single night. As we hurried from the docking bay, I glanced back at Master Grayson's body, at the vacant eyes that had moments ago burned with hatred. I felt no satisfaction in his death, only confusion and grief. He had been our teacher. What could turn a Jedi against everything he had sworn to uphold? Master Dralig led us through maintenance tunnels I did not recognize, moving with the confidence of one who had studied every possible escape route from the temple. Paranoia, some had called it. Foresight, it proved to be. "Master," I ventured as we paused at a junction, "what happened? Why did the clones attack us? Why did Master Grayson turn? Master Dralig was silent for a long moment, as if weighing how much to tell children who had already seen too much. Betrayal, he finally said. Betrayal from within and without. The clone troopers were programmed from creation to turn against us on a single command. We never saw it coming. And Master Grayson? The dark side. His voice lowered. It has always been there, tempting those who seek shortcuts to power. In times of crisis, some fall. He will not be the last. We found the other younglings huddled in an abandoned power substation, guided there by instinct and the Force. Master Dralig counted heads. 18. 2 missing. No one spoke their names. No one had to. Listen carefully, Master Dralig addressed us all. What I am about to tell you will be difficult to hear, but you must understand the gravity of our situation. The Jedi Order, as we know it, has ended. Chancellor Palpatine has declared all Jedi enemies of the Republic. The clone troopers across the galaxy have been ordered to execute their Jedi commanders. The words fell like physical blows. The Jedi Order had stood for thousands of years, guardians of peace and justice. How could it end in a single night? Some will have survived, Master Dralig continued. Those with the wisdom to go into hiding. That is what we must do now. Survive. Remember our teachings. Wait for a time when the light can return. But where will we go? Sora asked, her voice small. There is a freighter captain at docking port E19, level 1042, an old friend who owes me a debt. He will take us off-world, no questions asked. To where? Master Dralig's expression softened. Somewhere far from Coruscant. Somewhere the Empire will not look for younglings. The word was new. Empire, not Republic. The change had already begun. We leave in 10 minutes, Master Dralig said. Gather your strength. The journey ahead will not be easy. As the others prepared themselves, Master Dralig took me aside. Kalen, I sense great potential in you. The way you stood against a fallen Jedi to protect the others, that took courage few adults possess. I did not feel courageous. I felt small and afraid. I did what Master Kier would have expected. Yes, he trained you well. Master Dralig placed a hand on my shoulder. In the days to come, you must continue to be strong. The others look to you now. But I am just a youngling, I protested. I know nothing about surviving outside the temple. None of us do. The Jedi have been comfortable for too long, complacent. Perhaps that is why we did not see this betrayal coming. He sighed, suddenly looking far older than his years. We will all have to learn new ways now. A distant explosion shook the substation, dust raining down from the ceiling. The hunt was continuing. Time to move, Master Dralig announced. Stay close, trust in the Force. It has not abandoned us, even if it seems that way. We moved through the Undercity like shadows, a procession of small-robed figures following the last battlemaster of a dying order. The depths of Coruscant were a world unto themselves, with laws and dangers unique to the perpetual twilight. Gangs controlled territory boundaries. Security droids patrolled specific sectors. We avoided both. Level 1042 was a commercial zone, filled with docking bays serving the black market trades that flourished beneath Coruscant's gleaming surface. No questions asked, no documentation required. The perfect place to disappear. Docking port E19 was unmarked except for a faded numeric glyph beside the entry hatch. Master Dralig approached cautiously, lightsaber ready but not ignited. Captain Havoc? He called softly. It is Sin Dralig. Silence. The hatch remained sealed. Captain Havoc, I am calling in the debt you owe. Lives depend on it. More silence. Then a voice, rough with age and strong drink. Bad timing, Master Jedi. Very bad timing. The whole planet is on lockdown. Troops everywhere, checking ships, checking cargo. We can pay, Master Dralig said. Whatever you ask. A harsh laugh from behind the hatch. Credits will not help if we are caught with Jedi fugitives. The new Emperor has put a bounty on your kind that would make a Hutt jealous. Emperor, The transformation was complete. "Please," Master Dralig said, a word I had never heard him use before. "There are children." The hatch cycled open a fraction, revealing a weathered face beneath a shock of white hair. Eyes narrowed, taking in our group. "Children, Force help us all." Captain Havoc exhaled heavily. "Get in. Quickly." We filed through the hatch into a cargo hold that smelled of spice and unwashed bodies. The ship was old, a Corellian freighter modified almost beyond recognition, with parts salvaged from a dozen different vessels. "Supplies are in the forward compartment," Captain Havoc said gruffly. "We leave in 20 minutes. I have one more delivery to make before we can break atmosphere." Master Dralig nodded. "Thank you, old friend. Do not thank me yet. Getting off Coruscant will be the easy part. Finding somewhere that will take you in, that is the real challenge." Captain Havoc's gaze swept over us again, lingering on our young faces. "What happened at the temple?" "The holonet is saying the Jedi attempted to assassinate the Chancellor." "Lies," Master Dralig said flatly, "but the truth no longer matters. Only survival." Captain Havoc disappeared into the cockpit, leaving us alone in the cargo hold. Master Dralig directed us to the supplies, distributing water and nutrient bars. We ate mechanically, bodies requiring sustenance, even as our minds struggled to process all that had happened. "Where will we go, Master?" I asked quietly. "Somewhere in the Outer Rim, beyond the Republic's immediate reach. There are planets where the Force flows strongly, where we might find sanctuary while we rebuild." Rebuild. The word seemed impossible. How could the Jedi Order rebuild from 18 younglings and one aging battlemaster? The ship's engines rumbled to life, vibrations running through the deck plates. A small view screen in the cargo hold showed the docking bay doors opening, revealing the urban canyon beyond. Freedom, perhaps. Or another trap. As the freighter lifted off, rising through the layers of Coruscant's underlevels, I felt the temple's presence grow distant, not just physically, but in the Force. A light dimming, overwhelmed by shadow. "I can still feel them," Sora whispered beside me. "The ones who died, they are one with the Force now." "Yes," I agreed, though the concept brought little comfort. One with the Force was still gone from our world, from our lives. The ship shuddered, banking hard to port. "Captain," Havoc's voice crackled over the internal comm. "Security patrol approaching. Hold tight." Master Dralig moved to the viewport, peering into the urban sprawl. "Imperial gunships. They are not yet within scanning range." "Yet being the operative word," Captain Havoc replied. "I am taking us through the industrial sector. The emissions will mask our signature." The next minutes stretched into eternity. The freighter wove through Coruscant's massive cityscape, skimming perilously close to factory complexes and power plants. Alarms blared periodically, proximity warnings as Captain Havoc pushed the ship to its limits. "They are following," Master Dralig reported, still watching the viewport. 3 gunships, keeping pace. "They have not locked weapons," Captain Havoc replied, "standard pursuit protocol. They are waiting for us to reach open sky, where they can disable us without collateral damage to the city." "Can we outrun them?" A barking laugh over the comm. "This old girl has a few surprises left. Get the younglings secured. Acceleration compensators are the first thing I cannibalized for parts." Master Dralig moved quickly, directing us to crash webbing along the cargo hold walls. We strapped in, faces pale but determined. Jedi younglings, trained from infancy to remain calm in crisis. But theory was again failing in the face of reality. "Listen to me," Master Dralig said urgently as the ship's engines began to whine at a higher pitch. "If we are boarded, if the worst happens, remember this. You are not defined by the lightsaber you carry or the robes you wear. Being a Jedi is here." He touched his heart. "And here." He touched his temple. "They can take everything else, but not that. Not unless you let them." The ship lurched forward with gut-wrenching acceleration. We were thrown against our restraints as artificial gravity struggled to compensate. Through the viewport, Coruscant's cityscape became a blur of light and shadow. "Breaking atmosphere in 30 seconds," Captain Havoc announced. Gunships still in pursuit, deploying countermeasures. The freighter shook violently as something detonated behind us. Decoys or actual weapons, I did not know. The viewport filled with the darkness of space, stars appearing as we left Coruscant's artificial atmosphere behind. "Imperial cruiser at bearing 18 Mark III, Captain Havoc reported, voice tight, moving to intercept. I saw it through the viewport. A wedge-shaped vessel, massive against the backdrop of space. A Republic cruiser, but no longer. Empire now. Its running lights pulsed as it adjusted course toward our small freighter. "Deploying scrambling measures," Captain Havoc said. "Identification transponder cycling through false credentials. Prepare for hyperjump on my mark." Master Dralig moved to the cockpit, leaving us secured in the cargo hold. His voice drifted back. "They are hailing us." "Standard procedure," Captain Havoc replied, responding with cargo, manifest and flight plan. "Legitimate on the surface. Whether they believe it." The ship shuddered again, more violently this time. "Tractor beam." Captain Havoc cursed. "They are not taking chances." The next moments passed in a blur of shouted commands and emergency alarms. The freighter fought against the invisible grip of the Imperial cruiser, engines straining to breaking point. Through the viewport, I watched the massive ship grow larger, our small vessel drawn inexorably toward its hangar bay. Master Dralig returned to the cargo hold, his expression grave. "We have minutes at most. Captain Havoc is attempting to overload the tractor beam with a power surge, but the odds are not in our favor." He knelt before us, meeting each pair of frightened eyes in turn. "I want you to listen carefully. If we are captured, you must hide your connection to the Force. Pretend to be ordinary children. Orphans Captain Havoc was transporting to family members. The Empire will be looking for Jedi, not refugees." "But the Force," Sora protested. "They will sense it in us. Not if you suppress it, as I have taught you in meditation. Draw it inside, let it lie dormant. It will be difficult, but it may save your lives." The concept was terrifying. The Force had been our constant companion since before we could remember. To voluntarily cut ourselves off, even temporarily. A new alarm sounded, high and insistent. "Boarding party preparing," Captain Havoc announced over the comm. "They will breach the main hatch in approximately 2 minutes. Master Dralig stood, resolute. "I will delay them. Captain Havoc has an escape pod designed for emergencies. It is small, but it will hold all of you. The moment the tractor beam falters, he will launch it toward the surface. The confusion should allow you to slip through." "You are coming with us," I said, my voice cracking. Not a question, a desperate statement. Master Dralig smiled sadly. "My path leads elsewhere, young one." "We will not leave you," Malik insisted. "You must. The future of the Jedi Order depends on it." Master Dralig placed his hand on my shoulder again. "Kaelin, you will lead them. When you reach the surface, find someone trustworthy. There are still good people in the galaxy, even now. How will I know who to trust? The Force will guide you if you listen carefully." He pressed something into my hand. A comlink, ancient and battered. "This is encrypted to a frequency few remember. If any Jedi survived, they may be monitoring it, but use it sparingly. The Empire will be scanning for such transmissions." The ship lurched again, metal groaning under stress. The tractor beam's pull increased. "Go," Master Dralig urged, guiding us toward a small hatch at the rear of the cargo hold. "Captain Havoc is waiting." One by one, my fellow younglings disappeared through the hatch, faces tear-streaked but composed. I lingered, the last one. "Master," I began, but words failed me. "I know, Kaelin." Master Dralig's weathered face softened. "I am proud of you, all of you. When the time is right, the Jedi will rise again. Until then, survive. Remember. Hope. He ignited his lightsaber, the green blade casting his features in ethereal light. Behind me, Captain Havoc called impatiently from the escape pod. Time had run out. I turned and ran, Master Dralig's final words following me. May the Force be with you, always. The escape pod was cramped, designed for emergency evacuation rather than comfort. 18 younglings pressed together in a space meant for perhaps 10 adults. Captain Havoc worked the controls with practiced efficiency, his face grim. Brace yourselves, he warned. The moment the tractor beam releases, we will be pulled into Coruscant's gravity well. It will not be pleasant. Through the pod's small viewport, I watched our freighter grow distant, still held in the Imperial cruiser's relentless grip. Master Dralig would be facing the boarding party now, lightsaber in hand. One Jedi against an Empire. But he would buy us time. That was all that mattered to him. A blinding flash erupted from the freighter's engine section. Captain Havoc's power surge, detonating with more force than intended. The tractor beam flickered, its energy field destabilized. Now, Captain Havoc growled, slamming his palm against the launch control. The escape pod shot away from the crippled freighter, accelerating toward Coruscant's glittering surface. Behind us, the Imperial cruiser's weapons systems came online, turbo-laser batteries tracking our small vessel. They have acquired us, Captain Havoc reported tensely. Evasive maneuvers. The pod lurched and spun, following a random pattern to confuse targeting systems. Around us, space lit up with turbo-laser fire, green energy beams slicing through the void. One shot grazed our hull, sending the pod into an uncontrolled tumble. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. Captain Havoc fought the controls, sweat beading on his forehead. Hull, breach in the aft section, he announced. Sealing now, life support compromised but holding. Coruscant's atmosphere enveloped us, friction heating the pod's exterior to glowing red. The turbo-laser fire ceased, our small vessel now lost among the countless lights and signals of the planet-wide city. They will track us, Captain Havoc warned. Standard procedure is to alert ground forces to the landing zone. Then we will not be there when they arrive, I said with a confidence I did not feel. Captain Havoc glanced at me, something like respect flickering in his weathered features. No, we will not. The pod streaked through Coruscant's artificial night, a falling star among millions of fixed lights. Captain Havoc guided our descent toward the industrial sector, aiming for the vast factory complexes where detection would be most difficult. Impact came without warning. One moment we were falling, the next crashing through a series of plastoid roofing panels, then slamming to a halt against solid duracrete. The pod's interior went dark, emergency lighting activating seconds later. Everyone still breathing? Captain Havoc asked, already working to unlock the hatch. Murmured affirmatives from around the cramped space. Remarkably, none of us had been seriously injured. Out, Captain Havoc ordered, forcing the hatch open manually. We have minutes before they pinpoint our location. We emerged into chaos. The escape pod had crashed through the roof of a manufacturing facility, landing on an assembly line. Machinery sparked and smoked around us. Alarm klaxons wailed. Worker droids scattered in programmed panic. This way, Captain Havoc urged, leading us toward an emergency exit. The pod's transponder is still active. They will home in on it. We ran through the darkened factory, bare feet slapping against metal flooring. Our Jedi robes, once a symbol of honor, now marked us as targets. Captain Havoc seemed to realize this as well. We need to find you different clothes, he muttered, and quickly. The emergency exit opened onto a maintenance platform overlooking a vast industrial waste canal. The acidic smell of chemicals and decay assaulted our senses. Far above, the lights of Imperial patrol craft swept methodically across the sector. Level 72, Captain Havoc said, checking a small datapad. Textile district is 2 levels down. We might find something there. What about the other Jedi? Sora asked. Master Dralig? Captain Havoc's expression hardened. The freighter's transponder went dark shortly after we launched. Either disabled or destroyed, we must assume the worst. The weight of that statement settled over us like a shroud. Master Dralig, the legendary battlemaster, gone, like Master Kier, like Master Nu, like all the others whose deaths we had felt through the Force. We keep moving, I said, finding my voice. That is what they would want. Captain Havoc nodded approvingly. The boy is right. Mourn later. Survive now. We descended through maintenance ladders and service tunnels, moving deeper into Coruscant's industrial heart. Level 72 gave way to Level 73, a maze of transport tubes and cargo processing facilities. Workers, mostly aliens of species deemed suitable for menial labor, paid us little attention. Another group of refugees in a city that had seen countless displaced by the Clone Wars. Level 74 housed the textile district, vast automated looms producing the endless variety of fabrics needed by 1 trillion inhabitants. Captain Havoc led us to a distribution center, its loading bay temporarily deserted during shift change. Wait here, he instructed, slipping inside. Minutes later, he returned with an armful of simple garments, factory uniforms, maintenance coveralls, cleaning staff attire. Change quickly. We shed our Jedi robes, the only clothes we had ever known, and donned the rough-spun garments of Coruscant's working class. The transformation was startling. No longer younglings of a mystical order, we looked like any group of undercity orphans. Anonymous, forgettable, exactly what we needed to be. What about our training sabers? Malik asked, holding the hilt that had been his constant companion for years. Leave them, Captain Havoc said firmly. Anything that identifies you as Jedi must be abandoned. I felt the protest rise in my throat, then die unspoken. He was right. Survival required sacrifice. One by one, my fellow younglings placed their training sabers in a waste reclamation chute. I was the last, my fingers reluctant to release the weapon. It is just a tool, I reminded myself, echoing Master Kier's teaching. The Force is within you, not the saber. Still, watching it disappear into Coruscant's vast recycling system felt like severing another connection to all we had lost. Our home, our teachers, our identity. Captain Havoc checked his datapad again. Imperial forces have locked down all major transportation hubs. Public shuttles, turbolifts, even private vehicles are being searched. We need another way off-world. The spaceport at level 23 offered a small voice. We turned to look at Malik, normally the quietest among us. Master Zay took us there once, on a cultural observation exercise. There are independent freight haulers who operate outside official channels. Captain Havoc's eyebrows rose. The boy has a point. The smuggler's docks. Not my first choice for younglings, but options are limited. How do we get there? I asked. If all transportation is being monitored, the old way. Captain Havoc gestured toward a maintenance shaft. We climb. Level 74 to level 23. 51 levels of urban sprawl to traverse without using regular transportation. Under normal circumstances, an impossible journey. But these were not normal circumstances. We moved in stages, using service corridors and maintenance tunnels designed for droids rather than humans. Captain Havoc's knowledge of Coruscant's underbelly proved invaluable, guiding us through shortcuts and hidden passages even the Jedi had not known about. Smuggler for 40 years, he explained when I asked how he knew such routes. You learn to move unseen or you end up in a Imperial prison. The journey took hours. Young legs grew tired. Spirits flagged. But the alternative drove us onward. Rest meant capture. Capture meant death, or worse. What do you think the Empire will do with Jedi they catch? Sora asked as we paused to eat nutrient bars Captain Havoc had scavenged from a vending unit. Nothing good, the captain replied bluntly. The Emperor has declared the Jedi traitors. Traitors get no mercy. But we are just younglings, Malik protested. To a regime built on fear, even children are threats if they represent the old order. Captain Havoc's voice softened slightly. This is not the republic I grew up in. Something fundamental has changed. We reached level 47 as Coruscant's artificial daylight cycle began. The constant twilight of the Undercity gave way to harsh industrial illumination. More patrols here, both droids and organic. We moved more cautiously, using the morning work crowds for cover. Imperial checkpoint ahead, Captain Havoc warned, peering around a corner. They are scanning identification chips. A problem, none of us had official identification. Jedi younglings existed outside the normal bureaucratic systems of the Republic. Our identities were recorded in the temple archives, nowhere else. Now what? I whispered. Captain Havoc studied the checkpoint, his experienced eye noting details we missed. The north barrier is staffed by only 2 troopers, the rest are automated scanners. If we create a distraction, no need for complexity, came a new voice behind us. We spun, 18 younglings instantly alert, drawing on force awareness we were supposed to be suppressing. Captain Havoc's hand went to the small blaster concealed beneath his jacket. The figure that stepped from the shadows wore the uniform of a Coruscant Sanitation Authority supervisor, unremarkable in every way, except for the knowing look in his eyes as they swept over our group. "Jedi younglings," he said quietly. "And quite a few of you." Captain Havoc positioned himself between us and the stranger. "You are mistaken. These are refugees I am escorting to family in the mid-levels." "Peace, Captain." The man raised empty hands. "I am not your enemy. My name is Jax Pavan. Until yesterday, I was a Jedi Knight." The name meant nothing to me, but Captain Havoc relaxed slightly. "Pavan, I have heard of you. Special operations during the war." Jax Pavan nodded. "My connection to the Force allowed me to sense these younglings. They are broadcasting their presence like a beacon to anyone sensitive enough to detect it." I felt shame wash over me. Our first test, and we had failed. Master Dralig had warned us to suppress our Force connection, but the habit of a lifetime was not easily broken. "We are trying," I said defensively. Jax Pavan's expression softened. "I know, but trying is not enough. The Emperor has agents hunting for Force sensitives. They will find you if you do not learn to hide properly." "Can you teach us?" Sora asked. "Not here. Not now." Jax glanced toward the checkpoint. "First, we get you past this barrier, then somewhere safe." "We were heading to the smuggler's docks," Captain Havoc explained. Jax frowned. "Too risky. The Empire will be watching all departure points, official or otherwise. I have a better alternative. But first things first." He tapped the insignia on his sanitation uniform. "This gives me clearance to move maintenance crews through checkpoints without individual scans. If you can look the part." Minutes later, we were arranged in a workgroup formation, each youngling carrying a piece of cleaning equipment Jax had procured from a nearby storage locker. He led us toward the checkpoint with the confident stride of a mid-level supervisor on official business. "Sanitation crew," he announced to the troopers, presenting his credentials. "Waste reclamation malfunction on level 46. Environmental hazard." The lead trooper barely glanced at the identification. "How many in your crew?" 19. Jax replied smoothly. "Myself, my assistant," he nodded to Captain Havoc, "and 17 maintenance workers. The backup is substantial." The trooper waved us through, already turning to the next person in line. Just like that, we had passed an Imperial checkpoint. Not through forced tricks or violence, but through the simple expedient of looking like we belonged. "Overconfidence," Jax murmured as we moved away. "The Empire believes its enemies destroyed or scattered. It has not yet learned to be truly vigilant." He led us through a maze of commercial districts, each devoted to a different sector of Coruscant's vast economy. Level 38, Financial Processing. Level 35, Data Storage. Level 32, Entertainment Production. always moving downward, but never in a direct path that might attract attention. "Where are we going?" I finally asked as we entered Level 28, a residential zone for mid-level government workers. "The last place the Empire would look for Jedi," Jax replied, "the abandoned Sith shrine." The words sent a chill through me. Every youngling knew the stories. When the Jedi built their temple on Coruscant, they constructed it over the ruins of an ancient Sith shrine, symbolically containing the dark energies within. But the shrine itself still existed, buried deep beneath the temple foundations. "That is insanity," Captain Havoc objected. "You would take these children to a site of dark side power?" "The dark side energy will mask their force presence," Jax explained. "Like hiding in a storm, the Emperor's agents will be looking for light side signatures. They will never think to search where the dark side already flows strongly." The logic was sound, if disturbing. Using the enemy's strength against them. But the thought of it bringing 18 Force-sensitive younglings to a Sith shrine. "Is it safe?" I asked. Jax's expression grew serious. "The dark side is never safe, but it is safer than remaining exposed, and we will not stay long, only until I can arrange off-world transport." Level 25. Level 24. Level 23. We had reached our original destination, but our plan had changed. The smugglers' docks were visible in the distance, a chaotic sprawl of unofficial landing pads and makeshift hangars. Imperial patrols moved openly among them, checking cargo and crew. "You were right," Captain Havoc admitted to Jax. "They are watching everything." We continued downward. Level 22, the last fully developed tier of Coruscant's urban sprawl. Below lay the true Undercity, abandoned levels dating back centuries, home to criminals, outcasts, and things darker still. Jax led us to a maintenance shaft that appeared long forgotten, its access hatch corroded with age. "This way," he said, forcing the hatch open. The temple builders incorporated parts of the original shrine into the foundation structure. There are passages that connect directly to the lower levels. One by one, we descended into darkness. The shaft seemed to continue endlessly, passing through layer after layer of Coruscant's ancient past. The air grew stale. The light dimmed. And something else changed, something less tangible but more significant. The force itself felt different here, heavier, oppressive, like breathing underwater. "I do not like this place," Sora whispered, her voice tight. "None of us do," Jax replied. "But it serves our purpose." The maintenance shaft ended at a durasteel bulkhead, marked with symbols I did not recognize. Jax studied them briefly, then pressed his palm against a specific point. The bulkhead slid open with a hiss of ancient hydraulics. Beyond lay a chamber that defied expectation. Not the crude ruins I had imagined, but a vast space of polished black stone, its architecture alien yet oddly beautiful in its severity. Red light filtered from unknown sources, casting everything in a bloody glow. "The outer sanctuary," Jax explained. "The Sith built their shrines to impress and intimidate. The deeper chambers are where the true darkness lies. We will remain here, in the periphery." "How do you know about this place?" Captain Havoc asked suspiciously. "The Jedi Council assigned me to study the shrine during the war. They feared the rising dark side power might be connected to it somehow." A shadow crossed Jax's face. They were right to be concerned, but looking in the wrong place. The darkness was growing in the Senate, not beneath the temple. We moved further into the sanctuary, our small feet leaving tracks in dust undisturbed for millennia. The chamber branched into smaller alcoves, each containing remnants of the shrine's original purpose. Stone altars, meditation circles, faded murals depicting acts of conquest and subjugation. "We will rest here," Jax announced, indicating an area near the entrance where the oppressive feeling seemed marginally less intense. "I must go back to the surface. There are other survivors to contact, arrangements to be made." "You are leaving us?" Malik asked, voice rising in panic. "Only temporarily. Captain Havoc will remain with you." Jax knelt to meet our frightened gazes. "I know this place disturbs you. Use that. Focus on maintaining your mental shields. The dark side energy will help conceal you, but you must still do your part." I nodded, understanding what was not explicitly stated. This was a test as much as a hiding place. If we could resist the lure of the dark side here, in a shrine built to channel its power, we would be stronger for it. "How long must we stay?" I asked. 2 days. 3 at most." Jax handed Captain Havoc a comlink. "I will contact you when transport is secured." After Jax departed, we settled into an uneasy wait. Captain Havoc organized us into shifts, some resting while others kept watch. The concept of day and night meant nothing in the perpetual red twilight of the shrine, but our bodies demanded rest regardless. Sleep came reluctantly, haunted by nightmares. The temple burning, Master Kia falling, Master Grayson's corrupted eyes, and new horrors my mind conjured from the darkness surrounding us. When I woke, I could not tell if hours or minutes had passed. Sora sat beside me, her knees drawn up to her chest. "Do you think Master Dralig survived?" she whispered. I wanted to offer comfort, to say yes. But lying was not the Jedi way. "I do not know. But he gave us a chance. We must make it count." "I keep feeling them," she admitted. "The others, the ones who died at the temple. It is like they are calling to me." A chill ran through me that had nothing to do with the shrine's temperature. "That is the dark side, Sora. It uses your grief, your fear. You must not listen." But I felt it too, whispers at the edge of consciousness, promises of power to avenge our fallen. Temptations designed specifically for wounded young hearts. Captain Havoc approached, his weathered face grim. "The boy is right. This place plays tricks on the mind. Focus on something tangible, something real." I drew the ancient comlink Master Dralig had given me from my pocket. "Like this?" Master Dralig said other Jedi might be monitoring the frequency. Captain Havoc studied the device. "Possibly. But activating it here, surrounded by Imperial forces, would be unwise. When we get off-world then," I said, returning it to my pocket. "When we are safe. If there is anywhere truly safe left in the galaxy," Captain Havoc murmured. The hours crept by with agonizing slowness. We practiced our mental shields as Jax had instructed, learning to draw our force presence inward until it became almost imperceptible. Some managed better than others. Malik, always the most disciplined in meditation, achieved it first. Sora struggled, her natural empathy making it difficult to close herself off. I fell, somewhere in between, managing to suppress my presence for short periods before exhaustion forced me to relax my guard. Each time I did, the shrine's dark energy seemed to press closer, probing for weaknesses. On what must have been the second day, based on our growing hunger and Captain Havoc's dwindling supply of nutrient bars, we felt a change in the atmosphere. A stillness, as if the shrine itself were holding its breath. "Something is coming," Malik warned, the first to sense it. Captain Havoc checked the comlink. No message from Jax. "Hide," he ordered, drawing his blaster. "Now." We scattered to the alcoves and recesses of the sanctuary, pressing ourselves into shadows. I found myself behind a fallen column, Sora and 2 others huddled beside me. From this position, I could see the main entrance, the bulkhead still sealed as Jax had left it. The attack came from another direction entirely. A section of wall that had appeared solid simply vanished, revealing a passage none of us had noticed. Through it stepped a figure that embodied nightmare, tall, encased in black armor, moving with mechanical precision. The rhythmic sound of artificial respiration filled the chamber. "Vader," Captain Havoc breathed, the word barely audible. The name Grasin had mentioned, Lord Vader. The figure paused, helmet turning slowly as it surveyed the sanctuary. Then, with deliberate menace, it ignited a lightsaber. Not the blue or green of the Jedi, but a burning crimson that cast the chamber in blood-red light. Captain Havoc fired without warning, blaster bolt streaking toward the armored figure. With contemptuous ease, Vader deflected it back at him. Captain Havoc crumpled, a smoking hole in his chest. "Come out, younglings," Vader commanded, voice distorted through his helmet's vocoder. "The Emperor has special plans for Force-sensitive children. Serve him willingly, and you may yet live." No one moved. No one breathed. The darkness of the shrine seemed to pulse around Vader, responding to his presence. "Your fear betrays you," he continued, moving further into the sanctuary. "I can sense each one of you, clinging to the light even in this place of darkness. Futile. The Jedi are ended. There is only the Empire now." He stopped directly before our hiding place, lightsaber held high. "You most of all, little one. Your presence shines like a beacon." Sora trembled beside me, eyes wide with terror. Her control had slipped completely, her Force signature flaring in response to her fear. "Run," I whispered to the others. "When I move, run for the passage he came through." "What about you?" one of them asked. "I will be right behind you." It was a lie, but a necessary one. Someone had to create a diversion. Someone had to face Vader, even if only for moments. Master Kier had done it for us. Master Dralig had done it. Now it was my turn. I gathered the Force within me, drawing on every lesson, every teaching. Not for attack. I was a youngling with a training saber I no longer possessed, but for speed. For one chance to save the others, I lunged from cover, using the Force to propel myself directly at Vader. Not to attack, but to pass him, to draw his attention while the others escaped. He caught me in mid-air, one gloved hand closing around my throat. The Force grip was unbreakable, lifting me until we were face to face, my feet dangling above the stone floor. Brave. Vader observed dispassionately, but foolish. Behind him, I saw the others slip from hiding, moving silently toward the passage. All except Sora, who stood frozen in horror. "The dark side is strong in you," Vader continued, studying me through his impassive mask. "Raw, untapped. You could be useful." "I will never serve the dark side," I managed to say, despite the pressure on my throat. They all say that at first. The others had reached the passage. Almost all. Sora still had not moved, her eyes locked on me. "Go," I mouthed silently. Something changed in her expression. Resolution replacing fear. She stepped forward, drawing Vader's attention. "Let him go," she said, her small voice steady. "Take me instead." Vader turned slightly, his grip on me never wavering. Interesting. Sacrifice. A Jedi trait, yet so easily twisted to serve the dark side. The helmet tilted, considering. "You care for him." Attachment. Another weakness your masters would have eventually purged. "Please," Sora begged. "He is my friend." "Friend," Vader repeated, as if the word were unfamiliar. "There are no friends in the Empire, only servants and masters." His lightsaber shifted, red blade humming with lethal intent. I closed my eyes, certain the end had come. But the killing blow never fell. Instead, a new sound filled the chamber, the distinctive snap hiss of another lightsaber igniting. Blue light joined the red, casting purple shadows across the ancient stones. "Put the boy down, Vader." Jax Pavan stood in the main entrance, lightsaber held in a defensive position. Behind him, a group of adults in civilian clothing, but with the unmistakable bearing of Jedi. "Pavan," Vader acknowledged. "I wondered if you had survived the purge." "More than you know," Jax replied. "Now release the youngling." "Or what?" Vader's vocoder could not convey emotion, yet somehow managed to suggest amusement. "You were never my equal, Pavan. None of you were." "Perhaps not individually," Jax conceded. His companions spread out, some igniting lightsabers of their own, others drawing blasters. "But there are more of us than you might think." The purge was thorough, but not complete. For a moment, Vader seemed to consider the odds. Then, with sudden violence, he hurled me aside. I struck the stone wall with devastating force, consciousness fading immediately. My last sight was of lightsabers clashing, red against blue, darkness against light. I woke to the hum of a ship's engines and the sterile smell of a medical bay. My body ached, but the pain was distant, dulled by Bacta and medication. I tried to sit up. "Easy, young one," a gentle voice cautioned. A woman's face came into view, lined with age and experience. "You have been unconscious for 3 days. The others," I croaked, my throat raw. "Sora, safe, all of them." The woman adjusted something on the medical equipment beside my bed. "Jax got all the younglings out. You were the worst injured." Memory returned in fragments. The shrine, Vader, the fight, Captain Havoc. The woman's expression saddened. He did not survive, but his sacrifice allowed Jax time to bring reinforcements. And Jax, the other Jedi? Some escaped, some did not. She spoke with the careful neutrality of one delivering difficult news to a child. "Vader is powerful beyond measure, but they delayed him long enough for us to get you all to the ship. Who are you?" I finally thought to ask. "My name is Jocasta Nu." I stared in disbelief, but Master Nu died defending the archives. A small smile touched her weathered face. Reports of my death were greatly exaggerated. A necessary deception. When the clones attacked, I was not in the archives but in a secure vault below them, preserving the most critical knowledge of the Jedi Order. She helped me sit up slightly, adjusting pillows behind me. Beyond her, through a viewport, I could see the swirling blue of hyperspace. "Where are we going?" I asked. "Somewhere the Empire will not easily follow. A planet strong with the Force, but hidden from those who do not know where to look." Master Nu's eyes held a mixture of sorrow and determination. "It will not be the temple. Nothing ever will be again, but it will be a place to heal, to learn, to remember, and then we rebuild, not quickly, not openly, but with patience and purpose." She placed a weathered hand over mine. "The Jedi Order is not defined by buildings or titles or even traditions. It lives in each of us who carries the light, even, perhaps especially, in the youngest." I thought of Master Kier, of his final words to me, of Master Dralig, entrusting me with the safety of the others, of Sora, willing to sacrifice herself. "I am not sure I am strong enough," I admitted. "None of us are alone," Master Nu replied. "That is why we have each other. That is why even now we seek out the scattered survivors, the lost Padawans, the knights in hiding, the younglings who escaped other temples." She stood, moving toward the door. "Rest now. Your friends have been anxious for you to wake, particularly a certain Twi'lek girl who has scarcely left your side." After Master Nu departed, I lay in the quiet hum of the medical bay, processing all that had happened. The temple was gone. The Republic was gone. The life I had known existed only in memory. But something remained. Something that neither the Emperor nor Vader could extinguish, no matter how many Jedi they hunted down. The light within each of us. The knowledge passed from Master to Padawan for 1,000 generations. The hope that someday, balance would return. I reached into my pocket, surprised to find Master Dralig's comlink still there. Holding it in my palm, I whispered words I had heard every day of my life in the temple, words that now carried new meaning. "May the Force be with you, always." Somewhere in the vastness of space, I knew others were saying the same thing. Survivors, believers, guardians of a flame temporarily diminished but never extinguished. And somehow, I knew that one day that flame would burn brightly again. The temple was the only home I had ever known, until it was not. Until home became something carried within, a memory, a promise, a light against darkness. I was 6 years old when that light went out. I will be much older when it returns, but return it will.